To me, I think the importance of this presentation and of the continuing series that the Strategic Impact Evaluation Fund is hosting, is supporting, is that once you hear about a story in your country or in your region about the focus, the emphasis on early childhood, that then you would be, as a journalist, sparked to pay attention. I think that's really what I see as one of the most crucial things happening here. For example, all over Africa, you have a range of programs and projects, not necessarily studies, but programs that are being implemented by governments, by international NGOs, all by the World Bank. And so to me, it seems really critical that journalists would be aware and interested in pursuing understanding what a program is doing. So for example, in Mozambique, Save the Children work closely with the World Bank on a combination of early child development, early learning work, and early nutrition. And the joint effort produced some really nice outcomes for the early learning potential for improvement in the lives of these young children in Mozambique. I don't know personally whether there was news stories in Mozambique about that project. We certainly documented it at the World Bank, and Save the Children has documented it well. But those kinds of stories would be incredibly important to broadcast locally, to raise awareness in the Mozambican context of this work and of the importance of it to the community.
Yeah, but picking up the Mozambique example of that work with the community-based preschools, it's really interesting to know what the power of the evidence. By just measuring the delays of kids at the age 3, it was the attention of policymakers was really awakened by the fact that these developmental delays are large, so you can quantify what they are, and they're very sizable, and they start very early, and can have a long-term consequences for learning during elementary school, where the government thinks to start investing in people and human development. And so the power of the data, of the evidence that was brought by measuring these kids with a survey, alerted the awareness of policymakers of the importance of these delays and the potential for correcting this lack of potential for children. So there is an important point in being on building the evidence and making the evidence salient to policymakers and to the wider audience in developing countries through the power of journalism.
And we need to help families raise their demand and awareness. I mean, once you have the information, it's going to be a very powerful tool for individuals and families to, really raise a rallying cry around the need for improved services. So it's both improving the services and increasing the ability to supply, but we need to also increase demand for this kind of attention to young children at country level.
But also the evidence is super important in documenting how to do it. Mm-hmm. So everybody can be aware of the importance of investing in early childhood development, but how do you do it in a low-income environment with lots of competing demands with very limited funds? You have to make hard choices. And so if you can document ways of delivering these services in a way that it's cost-effective and feasible, and that resonates to the local context, that's sort of the best service you can do to human development and the development of these countries.